Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to show you how to create a waterfall chart in Excel. So waterfall chart is basically used to show the increase and decrease in money. So the examples of waterfall chart is your monthly salary expenses or personal income, and also for showing the corporate balance sheet analysis. So basically for these kind of examples, we will use the waterfall charts either to show any increase or decrease in your expenses or revenues. So mainly for calculating the profits and loss, right? So today we will look at two examples, two waterfall chart examples. So the first example is your it's based on your personal income. So here, if you look at the data, here I have included the salary amount, the total salary which you will receive, and this is a household expenses which is 10,000, and other expenses include, so 70,000 is nothing but the division, the subtraction of 10,000 from this total salary, which is a subtotal. So this is not an profit, but this is a subtotal. So, and the other expenses include like groceries, shopping, investments, EMI, food, etc. Right? So if you subtract all this from the 7,000, then you will be remaining with 10,000, right? So how can we analyze this data, this same data in a waterfall chart? So to do that, first we need to select the entire data, then go to insert, and in the chart section you will find this icon called waterfall chart. Click on that and insert the first option here, waterfall, and here you can see I've inserted the waterfall chart. Now let us analyze this waterfall chart here. So as we discussed, this is our total salary and this is the household expense, and 70,000 is the other expenses. So this is a subtotal, but this is a subtotal. But if you see, Excel is showing this as a profit, right? This is and the extra revenue which we got, but this is not the extra revenue, but this is a subtotal of these two these two areas here, right? 70,000 is the subtotal of these two bars here, 80,000 and then 10,000, right? So we subtracted 80,000 from this our household expenses, then we got 70,000 as our subtotal, right? But Excel is showing you as this as an extra income here. Why? Because the bar here is starting from this point onwards, right? From this 70,000 point, and it is going till 1 lakh 40,000. But this is not actually an extra income. This is actually our subtotal of this two bars, right? So to create this as a subtotal, what you can do is you can select this bar and right click on it and set it as a total. Right now you can see we created this as a total, but subtotal, but not as an increase in any revenue or profit, right? So in the same way, if you observe here, if you observe the legend here, the blue one shows the increase and the orange one shows the decrease, and this is the total, right? So this is our subtotal. Right now, if we analyze the data here, so the total salary is 80,000, out of which 10,000 got deducted because of the household expenses. Remaining is 70,000, and out of 70,000, if you subtract all this grocery, shopping, investments, EMI, food, then we are left with 10,000, right? So that is how you can calculate your profit and salary incomes, personal income based on the waterfall chart. So what I said here, you can calculate your monthly salary and expenses increase to show increase and decrease in money. So using this analysis, you can identify in which areas you can actually decrease your expenses so that your savings amount will get increased. Now, after you are earning 80,000, you are able to save only 10,000, right? But if you can increase any of this, if you can decrease any of these expenses here, either in groceries or in household expenses or even shopping or even food. So these can be decreased, right? So to increase your savings, these areas can be decreased. For example, if we decrease the household expenses by, let's say, 7,000. So and groceries, let's say we decrease it by, let's say, 2,000. And in shopping, let's say we decrease it by 3,000. Right now you can see your savings have increased by 15,000. Right, previously it was 10,000. Now we were able to increase it by 15,000. So that is how you can analyze your salary income using the waterfall chart. It helps you to analyze your spendings based on your salary income, and how you can actually reduce your expenses, right? So that is how you can use the waterfall chart. Now, in the same way, let's look at one more example. So this is about the furniture. So if you are having a furniture agency, furniture company, manufacturing company, and if you have sold furniture items of worth 1 lakh, and for that 1 lakh, how much will be deducted for the raw material and other expenses like wood cutting, or any other expenses, that will be 30,000 will be deducted for that raw material and other items, and the gross profit will be 70,000. So 1 lakh minus 30,000 will be your gross profit. And in this gross profit again, your amount will be deducted for the marketing purpose. So if you're because you're having a furniture e-commerce agency, you will have this kind of expenses, right? For marketing and branding promotions, you will invest at 10,000, right? So that your company will be advertised, right? So in the same way, you will give some for commissions, and if you're having employees in the company, then you need to pay them, right? So that is this deduction, and few others for equipments, this 6,800. And the operating income which are left over with this is 24,700, right? So out of all this subtraction from this 70,000 gross profit, if you subtract everything, you are left over with 24,700. And the interest revenue is, if you have invested in any shares or bonds, then you will receive an interest revenue which is 4,500, and this is interest expense based on your loans. And this is one more type of expense, loss from lawsuit. So this is 9,000, and their net income is 18,200. So using this data, let's analyze where you can actually reduce your negative values and make it profits. Once I have selected this data, and let's now insert the waterfall chart here. So I have inserted the waterfall chart. So let me increase the size of this, and now you can see once again we need to reduce the create sorry reduce this bar as subtotal, because Excel has shown this as an increase in revenue, but this is not actually an increase in revenue. It is a subtotal of this two bars here, right? 1 lakh is our gross revenue. 1 lakh is our gross revenue, and cost of goods, raw material cost is 30,000. The leftover gross profit is 70,000. So this becomes our subtotal of these two bars, right? But this is not actually our revenue or profit. So as I showed in the previous example, to make this as a total, what you can do is you can click on this and right click, and then set it as a total, right? So then you can see this, we set it as a total, right? So in the legend you can see blue shows the increase, orange shows the decrease, and gray one is the total amount, right? Now in the same way, here also the operating income, this will be your total, your subtotal, right? Right. So that is how you can uh, make it make the change. The same way net net income. So Here if you see, out of the 1 lakh revenue which you generated, which you got from selling the furniture, the here is a waterfall, how the fall has happened from your 1 lakh revenue, right? So the 30,000 went for the raw material cost, and you are left with 70,000, which is a gross profit. Out of which, out of 70,000, all this were the deductions, right? The marketing cost, commissions, payrolls, equipment, and then you are left with 24,700 as your operating income, right? And the operating income again will be calculated based on the interest revenue. So this is the interest revenue which you have actually earned, right? So this is a profit. This is an increase in revenue, right? And then you once again you got deducted with the interest expenses and loss from lawsuit, right? And you're left with 18,200 as a net income. Now to increase, now to decrease this expenses, in which areas can you actually decrease the expenses? So based on your calculations, and to increase your net income, you need to identify the areas where you can actually decrease the expenses. uh, you can't increase the revenue because your revenue is 1 lakh. So these are the areas where you can actually decrease your expenses. Either it could be payroll, payroll in the sense, if you have any employees and you're paying them salaries, then what you can do is you can cut down the salaries of the employees, or you can actually uh, uh, remove employees from the area, from the company, to reduce the your payroll cost, or else keeping all the employees and asking them to work hard to, so that your revenues get increased, right? So these options you can actually identify. And so it's in the equipments also you can get cheaper equipments, and and also you can get cheaper raw materials, so that your expenses will get decreased, and your gross profit will be increased, and the net income will also get increased. So that way you can also decrease the marketing cost. So instead of 10,000 you can make it 8,000, and payroll instead of 24,000 you can make it 20,000, so that you can actually decrease your expenses and increase your net income, right? And instead of uh, so the raw material cost which is costing you 30,000, you can make it 25,000. So that way you can reduce your waterfall, right? And you can decrease your expenses. So, so this is how you can actually analyze your profit and loss data using waterfall chart, and it is really very helpful for you to analyze the how you can actually spend your revenue, and how can you reduce the cost of this cost of your revenue, right? So this is how you can use it. uh, this was about your personal income, and how you can actually save more amount by reducing your expenses. And this is for an product manufacturing company. So how can you reduce the raw material cost, and how can you increase your net income? And yeah, so this is how you can analyze the data using waterfall chart. So if you have any questions in this waterfall chart, then please do comment below. I will answer your questions. And if you like the information which I showed in this video, then please consider subscribing to my channel, so that I can make much more interesting videos on Excel. Thank you.